Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, and to everyone who is present here. I'm Monila, and he is Maxime. Today, we are going to have an interview with the famous author, Erin Hunter. Good morning, Erin Hunter.
Bonjour, thank you for having me.
Nice to meet you. I really enjoyed your book, Warriors. It was great. I felt like I was in the adventure and I was rusty. So, my first question would be, Rusty is a domestic cat who joins the Thunder clan and goes to live in the wild. The other cats criticize him, calling him a kitty pet, but Rusty was confident about himself, so he didn't care about the others and became a real warrior. Isn't it?
That's correct, yes, that's absolutely right. The best way to introduce people to a new world is through the eyes of someone who doesn't know that world. So I wanted to use a domestic cat to show us the world of the warriors so that we would learn alongside it.
It's just like the story of black people.
Yeah.
Do you see any difference between the black and white? No, we don't. We are all the same. All have their natural way. I'm not a mature girl to make an analysis about your book. If you don't agree with my version regarding the book, I would like to know your version regarding the book.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm impressed that you have seen that in the stories. My books are very much about kindness and tolerance, and whatever happens, whatever questions you face, the answer is always inside you, and that is what I try and promote in the stories.
That's what I meant, because the black people, they fought for their rights and suffered a lot. So this story is sort of something like that, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We see that in the war between the domestic cats and the warriors. But also later in the series, the warriors meet more wild cats who are a little bit different from them. And in my mind, that was very much like meeting someone who has a different religion from you, who has a different culture. And I wanted to show how the two types of cat merged and became friends.
Okay.
Do you think that it's difficult to be different?
Difficult to be different?
Yes.
I do think it's very difficult to be different. But I think what we forget is that we are all different. You know, even though you and I have the same colour skin, we are still there are things about us that make us feel unique and special. And so I want to celebrate that. I want to celebrate how each person or each cat has a unique contribution to make.
Should we be perfect to be accepted by others?
Goodness, no. None of us is perfect. I am certainly not the best writer I could be. Every book I try and be a little bit more perfect. I think what we need to do to be accepted is to be accepting ourselves. If we are kind and tolerant, then people will respect that in us.
Do you think that Rusty, who later becomes Firepaw, is a real warrior?
Yes, he is a true warrior. For me, being a warrior is about believing in the warrior code, but also knowing the right thing to do and trusting your instincts. We are all born pretty much knowing what is right or wrong, and we make a series of choices through our lives. And sometimes we choose to ignore what is the wrong thing to do, and we do it anyway. And I think that is the mark of a true warrior, is to listen to your instincts and do the right thing.
Can we be warriors too?
Anyone can be a warrior, yes, but it's very important to know that being a warrior is not just about fighting. Sometimes the name warrior is misleading. And in fact, in the warrior code, it says that cats must not kill to win a battle. They simply scare their enemy until they run away. And I'm a very peaceful person, and that's very important to me, that being a warrior does not mean you have to go out and fight.
In this story, you have chosen a cat as the main character. So the whole story starts with a decision. The cat to quit his house and join the wild, or for him to stay at home and live the domestic life. why did you think that choosing an animal as a hero is more interesting than choosing a human as a hero?
I think of my cats as people in terms of personality and character and friendship, but you can write about many more things if your character is an animal. For example, if I wrote about children, I would not be able to make them be parents or grandparents or see them get old. But with a cat, because they age so quickly, they can have children and they can have a lot more experiences than a human child would.
Animals help us in many activities. Dogs are considered as man's best friend. Can cats be considered as man's best friend?
Cats are so different from dogs, and I am a dog person. I much prefer dogs to cats. Cats, I don't think will be your best friend. I think they're a very good companion, but I think we are friends with dogs, but we are always servants to our cats.
So, what made you write this story? Is it through experience or is it a created story?
A little bit of both, I think. I am inspired by things that I feel passionately about. So, for example, I have an adopted son, and therefore I'm very interested in cats who raise kits that are not their own. So some things like that are very, very interesting to me personally. But also, I am a storyteller, and one of the most exciting things to write about is death. So there's lots of death in my book because that's a very powerful subject. It doesn't mean that I want to kill anything. It just means that as a writer, that's what I enjoy writing about.
So thank you, Erin Hunter, for joining us and spending your precious time with us. It was really a great honor. Thanks a lot. So now we are finishing the interview. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you.